been going to this church or you've been hearing gospel preaching, you want to understand that what Christ did on the cross, the death on the cross, makes a way of salvation. There was a payment made, but you've got to receive it. Okay? And it says the wages of sin is death. And then I always like bringing this up. On the cross, Jesus Christ came and He was crucified and He died. So He provided a death that would pay for sin. And when you accept Christ as your Savior, your sin is taken and put on Christ, and His righteousness is put on your account. How does that happen? Well, because He paid for your sin. Okay? So, as I said, if someone goes before a judge and say, hey, you owe so much money, you were speeding, you owe $100. I don't have $100, Your Honor. Well, then you're going to go to jail. And then someone stands up and says, well, just a moment. I'm here. I'd like to pay that $100 for him. He comes up and he pays that. He pays for that person's sin. Okay? And that guy's righteousness, because that guy didn't owe anything to the court. He didn't owe anything. And that is put on that man. They say, look, we are taking his payment for your sin, and his righteousness is put on your account. You can walk free. You can go free. Same thing what Christ did on the cross. But he says here, starting in verse 48, he said, I am that bread of life. And he refers to himself about being the bread of life. And then he explains a little bit as he goes on about the children of Israel when they wandered in the wilderness and they ate manna that came down from God. He said, your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. He said they ate that manna physically, and though it kept them nourished while they were in the desert because they didn't have anything else to eat, but there came a time when they died. He said this, speaking of himself, is the bread which cometh down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. Now, in the Bible, death is in reference to separation from God. Because you say, well, wait a moment. And see, we've got to explain this to the world, sometimes to young Christians. They say, well, wait, I know people who are Christians and they died. No, you know people who were Christians and they stepped out of their body. But they did not die. Because death is separation from God. And the Bible tells us that when we leave this body, it says when you're absent from your body, speaking to Christians, when you're absent from the body, you're present with the Lord. See? So there is no death. Now, people who, without Christ, leave this world, they come out of their body as well, but they go to hell.